Hello, hello, hello. It's Josh again. It is day 3 of my trip to the West Coast. Yesterday, after I made the last video, it has been really good. Got to the Petrified Forest, and that was a lot of fun, the entire thing. It's really nice. I'd highly recommend it to anybody. It is normally a $10 admittance fee, but I actually went ahead and got the National Park Pass, which is $80. And what a National Park Pass is a card that allows you to get free admittance into any of the national parks, with the exception of Tennessee, which is kind of strange, but I noticed that the national parks in Tennessee you still have to pay for, but luckily I'm on the West Coast and I won't be around that area. So I got the National Park Pass first, and then I had to get the backcountry pass because I was going to, and I did in fact, camp out in the backcountry. After I did that, I went and drove the 28-mile stretch which goes through Petrified Forest National Park, and there's many stops along the way that allow you to see the wilderness in that area. There's also some trails that go around certain sections of it. I started on the north side because that is the west entrance where I came in, coming from Albuquerque. And first, the first stuff that you run into is what they call the Painted Desert, and they call it that because whenever the Spanish conquistadors came and saw it for the first time, one of the famous generals said that it looked like it was painted. And he actually said it in Spanish, of course, but it translates into Painted Desert. And then as you go further south in the park, that's where you start to begin to see the actual petrified wood. So all that was cool, and I enjoyed seeing that, and it took quite a bit of time really because there's so many stops on that 28-mile route. After that, I came back to the north side of the park to Kachina Point, where I loaded up my backpack with all my gear and went out into the backcountry. It was actually the section called the Badlands, and it's a really high clay soil content soil, so it was pretty tough. There's no actual trails that are marked out, so you just have to go along how you want to and go over the hills because it is quite a hilly area, and you have to get a mile off of the beaten path to camp. That's one of the rules actually. So I went a mile and decided to keep going, and ended up going about 10 miles actually to a high point in the area. And I set up, I had my tent and everything, but I actually decided to just use my sleeping pad because the weather was nice and it was cooling off at night. I knew that, so I just rolled out my inflatable sleeping pad, and I had to make a wind block because it was really windy up at the top of the hill that I was staying on. So I got a lot of the boulders that were sitting around, and medium-sized rocks, I guess, not really boulders, and made a wall on the north side where the wind was blowing, and that was perfect. So I laid out, and that was probably about 7 or 8 o'clock. So around that time, the sun started going down, the stars started coming out, and it was awesome. It's the most stars that I've seen in a long time, partly because of how high I was, but more because of the lack of ambient light. So that was really nice and enjoyable. I probably got to bed about 8:30 or 9. And then at about midnight, I woke up because the wind changed direction, and all that soft dirt that I was laying on was blowing straight in my face. So I first tried to pull out my tarp and kind of wrap that around me, but that didn't work so well, so I just ended up getting my pack and hiking down into one of the crevices where it wasn't as windy. And then I slept there until about 6 o'clock this morning, left the park at 7, and it's almost 8 now, and I'm on the road headed to Flagstaff, Arizona. I'm passing by the meteor crater, which I was thinking about seeing, but I'm actually just going to skip it at $16, and I'm not going to watch the video that they talk about is one of the big attractions and stuff like that. I'd probably just take a few pictures and go anyways. So I'm going to use that $16 plus a little for a hostel in Flagstaff. I'm hoping I can meet some cool people like I did at the last one. And I actually tried calling them just a minute ago and they didn't pick up. So I have to call them and make sure that they have a room available. But that's where I'm headed today. I'll hang out in Flagstaff today and then head to Humphreys Peak tomorrow. I'm hoping my cousin Alex can meet up with me, but she's another person that I called and haven't got a call back from, so who knows, but hopefully that'll work out. But either way, Flagstaff should be a lot of fun, and I'll fill you in on how that goes tomorrow. I hope you're having a great day and have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.